other civil society organizations, the NGOs and all that, must also do the needful in terms of being a credible watchdog. Because we cannot have a process that continues this way. I mean, you saw that 20 years, Nigeria signed and ratified an instrument. It was clear that Nigeria was going to be reviewed in November. And yet, Nigeria, despite all the attempts that were made, still did not submit its report to this mechanism. And it doesn't look good on Nigeria. It doesn't look good. So I will also use this opportunity to say that the National Human Rights Commission, for example, I see it as a very lead institution in this regard, can actually begin to work to hold all these agencies as accountable, demanding reports and all that, while the civil society organization will do that listening. So it's on one side, it's about awareness creation. On another side, it is about ensuring that the interventions are duly mainstreamed into existing mechanisms and budget locations where those government institutions are. And when these budgets need to increase, it should be done. And then finally, it is about ensuring that you oversee this report. But there are some critical recommendations that were made that I believe should not be very difficult. So take for example, in 2017, Nigeria passed the Anti-Torture Act. And what the UN is saying, the UN Committee Against it is saying, they do not have enough proof to say that the courts are making decisions based on that legislation or sentencing people based on that legislation. So we want to be able to say, so that it's not just having a law that is decorating the tables or the shelves, but it is a law that duly people know. And you look around, a lot of security agencies don't even know about the existence of the law. That law says that if you torture, you have 25 years, and yet a lot of them do not.
Okay, how do we deal with the fact that the law is not being implemented?
That's the point I'm making. If the issue is that it says it, so now one of that recommendations is about what the judiciary should do. So the judiciary to be sensitized fully about this, judiciary should duly begin to utilize that law, and that there should be a way of tracking and documenting what the judiciary is doing regarding them. And that's just one example I just gave. And you can see a lot of other. Then you go to the Administration of Criminal Justice Act of 2015, which is again another piece of beautiful legislation that Nigeria had signed, including also Nigeria, many states of the country also passing the same thing. So they have the Administration of Criminal Justice laws. One of the provisions says that Chief Magistrate should visit places of detention. So part of what we are saying in terms of practical sense is that, okay, you have the National Human Rights Commission and its functions in terms of promoting and protecting human rights. Within the National Human Rights Commission Act of 2012, it also provides that the National Human Rights Commission should visit these places. Yeah. So is it possible that, let's say, the Chief Magistrate gets into a detention facility and notices that there's somebody who has been tortured, and of course, not just physical but also psychological, but at least there is a suspicion that there is torture occurring? Is there a way that a trigger can happen almost immediately as that Administration of Criminal Justice, as the judiciary or the Chief Magistrate is informing the Administration of Criminal Justice Committee about this finding, that at the same time, because we don't want the bureaucracy to slow this down, at the same time that the relevant offices or officers of the National Human Rights Commission are also informed, so that if there be a perpetrator, we're able to do it. The same way the Legal Aid Council be informed, knowing also that the Legal Aid Council Act of 2011 provides that there should also be that interface in terms of visiting places of detention. So it is a question of coordinating efforts. So how do we ensure that some of these things are happening? So I think that it is doable if there is political will. So we need the government and the agencies of government and the presenters of the government to show that that's possible. I may also maybe mention the fact that if you may have observed the optional protocol to the UN Convention Against Torture, Cruelty, Inhuman and Degrading Treatment, provided that every nation should set up what is called the National Preventive Mechanism. Nigeria came back after signing that document and ratifying it, and then set up a committee. But to the best of my knowledge, that committee, there's still a lot of work that needs to be done. So part of the question we are talking about is, how do we align the work of the National Human Rights Commission to ensure that the proper interfaces are done? And if the funding for the committee is actually an issue, is there a better way to utilize the committee? Because obviously you don't have a law backing it, and maybe the membership. So just my point here is that let's look at what can work for us. These things are not too difficult.
All right.
So we have to find simple ways of aligning them with existing processes, existing institutions, existing activities of those institutions, existing budgets of those institutions. Whilst we are now looking at how then do we increase, enhance those budgetary allocations to do the needful.
Okay,
Madam,
you said that I want to first of all find out why Nigeria did not submit it, and they took a large entourage to that place, and they did not submit. Now, in the absence of non-submission, what is the implication? How do we begin to make efforts to do what's supposed to do the needful?
Okay, first of all, I will tell you I am disappointed personally that Nigeria did that. And why I'm disappointed is that I knew that there were a lot of effort made to ensure that this will not be the case, given that we have already have a terrible name regarding non-compliance with this international mechanism. And that was why a lot of support was done, both in terms of building capacities, both in terms of whatever needed to be done, in the media, with government agencies, with CSOs. And we were meant to believe that the reports, there was a report. We were meant to believe that the minister had read the report. That was the impression we had. But whatever it is, if there are needs, there are multiple reports and there are need to harmonize, then those things needed to do. These are internal matters. We should not be able to show a divided house, especially outside the shores of this country. So I think that it is not good. Because the real reason, remember there are supposed to be 3 reports. There's one report from the government, which for a long time, Nigeria had already been informed that Nigeria would be reviewed. So it was not a new information. They knew they would be reviewed. Nigeria knew that it would be reviewed. There were several letters asking for Nigeria to confirm whether it will participate also physically or virtually, because they could have also have participated virtually. It wasn't compulsory that they should go to Geneva. Because more so, if you were not going to take a report, why would you need to go to Geneva when you had nothing to submit? So I think that whatever needed to be done to ensure that whatever report Nigeria was comfortable with, is collated, even if there are different agencies, collect it, look at whatever it's good. Because I know there are certain things Nigeria have done that is good. There is no country that is perfect. So you can say, okay, on this, on that, we have done this, we have passed this law, we have passed that, on that. Okay, these are the areas we have challenges, and these are the areas we need support.
Right, they asked for extension of time within which to present the report. Do you think the UN will grant them that special to come and present reports?
No, wait, it doesn't work that way. That's not the process. The UN have already issued their recommendation based on the report they had. So Nigeria's opportunity was that opportunity again.
So what does Nigeria risk, even in ignoring these recommendations?
It's good bad image. That's all. I think that's the only thing you say bad image. But however, we can't cry too much. It's bad, but we have to move on. So the focus now will be, how can Nigeria now utilize the recommendations and then go forward? And you see now the UN have also simplified the mechanism, and they have already asking Nigeria to confirm that it will utilize the simplified format in reporting for 2025. But between now and that 2025, we need to begin to do the needful. And if you look at the recommendation, which is what we're already sharing, and people, so it's not like they're not going to go back and do their report. This is a full mechanism that there is money spent already bringing the members of the committee and so many other countries. Nigeria was not the only country that was also under review. So, and I believe that we have the capacity as a nation. We have, we should, just to say we should not be taking this kind of bad names, okay? So with this recommendation, let's now begin to look forward rather than complain about the misfit and see what we can do to implement it. But we should never, and this is not just one, this is just one.
As an NGO, what is the first step now from your own?
Okay, I think what we are doing is basically first what we see us doing now. We're trying to sensitize Nigerians on the report. We had a very wonderful consultative meeting yesterday with all the relevant agencies of the government, the Ministry of Justice, the Human Rights Commission, Ministry. So I was so impressed by the strength and the interest yesterday, and we saw these government agencies looking at the recommendations and trying to see what it is that they are doing. Today we are engaging the media, we're engaging the civil society organization, because I said we can't, yes, it is the responsibility of the government. We have to hold government accountable. We have to support government to whatever level we can, because everyone must understand it is a collective responsibility to get Nigeria to do the right thing, and because it benefits us as a people. So we have to make sure that we don't get this kind of shame anymore. That not just in terms of the obligation under Article 19 of the United Nations Convention Against Torture, Cruel, Inhuman, and Degrading Treatment, which is the reporting obligations, but every international instrument that Nigeria has signed, we must begin to be a little bit, for want of a better word, responsible.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Your full name and office.
My name is Uju Agoma, Dr. Uju Agoma, and I am the Executive Director of